gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bass Union. Just got to our first spot out here on Lake Oroville. Up the slot right now. It's looking like a beautiful day. So a few things I want to do today. I want to give you guys some solid tips and tricks how I fish a jig. A lot of you guys know that I don't necessarily put out tips, tricks videos. It's just more me fishing and along the way giving you some inside information. I want to show you the different jigs that I offer on my website, bassunionfishing.com. We have a finesse football jig and a heavy cover flipping jig. I've been using the Dobbins Champion XP 733 for my finesse football jigs. And anywhere open water, that's where I throw a finesse football jig. And it's been a great rod. It acts like a spinning rod almost. It gives. So I can feel all those pressure bites before that fish feels me, and I drop it, flick it, and set it into them. So I got Bose 743 Extreme HP. I'm gonna put that to the test today. I'm continuously on the quest to find the perfect jig rod for my finesse jigs, and I gotta say that 733 has been a pretty solid one. So I'm gonna try that 743 today, and if it's one I like, I'm gonna get a hold of my buddy over at Rod Broker, and he takes care of me. That's where I get all my rods from. He carries Dobbins, Phoenix, Duckett, Fitzgerald, and iRod. And what I've done in the past is I had a lot of Fury rods, and I was ready to make the upgrade to the Dobbins Champion series. And I literally took all my Fury rods, and he gave me a really good credit, and I used that credit towards the Champions. And I was able to get a full line of Champions out the door, and it was pretty sweet. So if you guys are looking to get a new rod, upgrade, or trade your old rod in, you can use any of those rods, trade it in for a credit towards a new one. And I'll link them down below, Rod Broker. Well, this is the one I've been using. That's 733 Champion XP. Probably catch a fish or two with this. That way I know the feel, and I'll compare it to the 743. So let's try it.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
This is the lineup I got for my finesse football jigs. So to start it off, we got black blue, green pumpkin. This is my signature matte brown orange. This is a brand new color, just came out with it literally yesterday. Tied them up, got them stocked on the store. Signature matte brown blue, never see that color. Been trying that one out for the last few weeks, and I've been smoking them. Caught a few 2-pounders out here on Oroville. Went to Clear Lake, first trip out, caught a 5-pounder, a lot of 2.5 threes. Matte brown purple, it's a classic. And this is my absolute go-to right here. This is my signature matte brown. That color, throwing it all tournament season and catching fish everywhere. Literally cannot beat that color. It's won a lot of money for me this year. The Lake Berryessa up in April or May, I can't even remember what month it was, but caught a 974. Me and Bo Allen won the Wild West Bass Trail tournament out there. Close to $8 grand, 158 boat tournament, insane. And then literally like the next week, we went up to New Melones, and my buddy Gary Souza, he took third place and won like 5,000 throwing my jigs, and got a few good fish on my A-rig as well. So got a lot of confidence in these jigs, and that's why I'm on the quest right now to find the ultimate jig rod to pair up with these. So let's get to fishing. Oh, I got thumped. I got hammered. Dong, dong, dong. That's the other thing I love about this rod. I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon right now. And when I get hammered, you can tell. Oh. That feels like a better one already. There we go. All right, guys. First fish of the day. That's the second. I mean, I got hit, swung and a missed, threw right back in there. We got this little guy. And I mean, he's maybe a pound and a quarter, but he choked that jig. It's that signature Matt Brown. So now that I caught a fish on it, I'm gonna take that reel off and put it on that 743 and give that a try. Good, nice little Orville chunk. Eat that jig. Excuse my ripping the seats. Those things, I need to get these fixed. Or new seats. But yeah, right off the bat, this thing feels pretty good. I don't know. Oh yeah, that tip feels good. Let's put that reel on. See how we like it. Boom. There we go. Oh, it feels pretty good. It feels light. The reel I'm using is a Lew's Tournament MB. And of course, a reel left-handed. I'm right-handed. I don't know how you guys do it. Reeling right if you're right-handed makes no sense to me. But that's a discussion for another day. So let's catch some fish with it. One of the reasons I like throwing a jig so much is usually when a fish hits it, they're a little bit bigger. You know, compared if you're throwing a worm or other conventional baits, a jig it produces consistent quality fish, no matter where you're at. There we go. First fish on the new rod. Breaking it in for you, Bo. Felt pretty good. You know, I'm dragging it on the bottom, and I just feel it's like just a little tap. And there's no guessing. You feel something different. And the way I fish it, I have that rod super high. So the minute I feel anything that's different, I drop the rod as fast as possible and I flick the reel at the same time. So when I'm dropping it and flicking the reel, it's picking up all the slack, and then I just set. So if there's nothing there, if there's something there, I'll find out. What do they say? Hook sets are free. See guys, I have my rod so high, I'll even bring it back that far. And this is totally unconventional. If I feel something, bam, I'm right there. I'm ready to go. Even that far back. No need for your other hand at all. So I'm constantly ready. I just have my finger on the trigger. And once I get a bite, I drop it, flick it. At the same time, set. And it's crucial. You have to have a reel that is smooth. You know, you flick that thing, you want it to keep spinning as much as possible. High gear ratio is preferred. Oh, I had one. Kidding me. I don't care if it's even a better rod. When you're used to one rod and how it feels, every other rod is going to be different. You know, you just got to get used to it. So I probably missed one or two fish right there. But let's see if we can get used to this feel. So guys, we're fishing nice tapering flats, and especially ones that have some little chunk rock on them. Little red banks. It just tells me throw a jig. Oh, that fish was taken off with it. Come on. Jeez. Felt that. He smoked it. I'm just minding my own business and all of a sudden, bam, 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 bam. All right, guys, let's switch it up. Getting bit on brown. That's all fine and dandy. But no, we're gonna get bit on brown. Come on. So let's switch it up. Show you guys some of the different colors I got. Let's keep going. Throw brown purple. Everybody loves brown purple. I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon. What I got rigged up right now is Seagar Red Label. And I go back and forth between Seagar and Sunline, the Sniper. So, you know, whatever your personal preference is. But I really like 12-pound fluorocarbon with these finesse jigs. I know a few of my buddies that are using them, and they're using 10-pound. Just haven't gone down that deep yet. There we go. Little itty bitty guy. Got that brown purple though. All right, let's make a move. It's been probably 30-40 minutes since caught a fish, so let's keep going. I don't know, something's telling me, fish me, fish me. Little point right there. Oh yeah. There's one. Well, there we go. On the brown purple, right in the nostrils. Just threw right in that little tiny pocket right there. Got a little tiny fish. All right, we got the new brown orange rigged up. That brown blue, it worked really good 2 weeks ago, but every time I get a fish or get a hit, they're not eating it. They're just pulling off the tail. They're not eating the whole thing. So try this brown orange and see if this makes a difference. This is my first time throwing it. Oh my gosh. First cast. Just smoked it. Holy crap. All right. That was my first cast with it. And right on the bank. And that thing just absolutely smoked it. Oh my gosh. Well, that just goes to show you color. It can it can play a factor. So I tell you what, I was using brown blue, throwing that for the last half hour, 40 minutes, and just not getting fish that are committing. We got that one. So not bad, not bad. Thing took off with it. All right, I think we're figuring something out. Color does matter. Go from not catching fish to catching fish. He's not big, but man, I was on my phone. But I felt him. That little guy. So little. Smaller and smaller. And smaller. That might be a better one. Going out deep. This might be a little better. Not much. Man, this fish smoked it. That. Nothing giant, nothing big today. And when I mean big, I mean 2-pounders. A lot of pound quarters. This rate, I don't know if it's gonna take much for this tournament coming up. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day. You know, we were catching quite a few jig fish today, but it died around 11:30, 12 o'clock. The last one I had tied on, I was using the brown orange, and when I first put this on, I was just straight smoking them. First cast, fish. Every other cast, fish, fish, fish. Where right before that, I was throwing a different color, brown blue, and I was getting a lot of short strikes. They were just nipping at the tail, pulling the tails off, and not committing to it. So, you know, overall, pretty happy with this new color that I got, this brown orange. Didn't get any big ones today, no 2-pounders. Biggest, I'd say it was probably 1.25 pounds. But you know, that's what happens when you come to Oroville. You got to expect it. There's not a lot of big fish out here. Mainly a lot of spots. But every now and then, you come across a 4 to 6 pound largemouth, and those make your day when that happens. Especially when it's in tournament. So, you know, had a lot of fun. What do I think about this rod? The Dobyns Champion Extreme HP and 743. You know, I got to say this thing is pretty sensitive. Well, for me, I've been using that 733 of the XP for this last year, and I'm just so used to how it feels and how it loads up when a fish when you get a pressure bite. Just everything about that rod, I'm just so used to it. You know, this is something it would take me a few trips to really get used to, but when the fish hit the jig, I knew it. It would just rock down the rod, and I'd feel it. So, you know, I'd recommend this rod. Definitely. Honestly, Bo might not get it back. Sorry, Bo. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to get some Dobyns, iRod, Fitzgerald, Duckett, or Phoenix rods, Rod Broker is definitely the way to go. You know, like I said earlier, I had a wall full of Fury rods, and I was ready to make the upgrade, and I went to the Champion series, and you know, That's mainly what I use is the Champions at the moment. But after using this Extreme today, I don't know, I might have to make a switch down the line, but I'm also curious to see how the Ecstasy series feels. I got my eyes on that 753. Curious to see how that one feels throwing these jigs. But just pulled up, gonna get the boat loaded up. One thing I forgot to mention, and some of you might ask, why are you using a 3-power with your jigs? Don't most people use 4 or 5 powers, you know, when they're throwing football jigs or jigs in general? And one thing I gotta say to that is, you know, with my jig, my finesse football jigs, hence finesse, I have a light wire 3/0 Mustad Ultra Point on there. And for me, personally, using a 3-power rod, I get a little more sensitivity out of it. And, you know, when I set the hook into the fish, it just gives that much more. And I feel like I'm losing less fish doing that. And as I'm fighting it, it loads, and every time the fish shakes its head, the rod gives. Honestly, it's almost like a crankbait rod. You know, the way it just takes it. Where if you use like a 4 or 5 power, and depending on what brand you're using, I mean, once that fish gets some slack, the rod's up. So that's mainly why I use the 3-power rod. So I just want to clarify that for everybody out there. I hope you guys like the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next one.